everyone, I am Rose Alel A. Batugon and my groupmate John Marlon M. Sinidosa. So for today, we are going to discuss the first part of the Module 4 in the subject Building and Enhancing New Literacies in the Curriculum. The Module 4, which is in the title Integrating New Literacies in the Curriculum. But before we start, I will give you our expectation setting. So the first one is to discuss the concept of integrated curriculum and to distinguish the different curriculum integration approaches, method types, and identify lesson or course discipline that may be appropriate for curriculum integration. So the question right here is, how are we going to integrate these literacies or these new literacies in the curriculum? Because we cannot really separate ourselves in integrating these literacies to the subject that we're going to teach in the future. But before we proceed, let's first make an idea what integration all about, or what comes first into our mind when we heard the word integrating. So it could be implement, it can to unite with something else, and it would be also a combination. So we are now trying to incorporate or combine the new literacies in the curriculum. But before we proceed to the further discussion of this topic, let us have a motivational quote came from Malcolm X. So according to Malcolm X, education is the passport for tomorrow. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it. So does everyone agree with this statement? Yes, of course. That's why we are here studying to increase our knowledge, to prepare ourselves toward to our better future. And we cannot achieve that without our innovative educators. So, innovative educators concerned with improving students' achievements seek ways to create rigorous, relevant, and engaging curriculum as the way to realize curriculum integration. Today, the subject in the curriculum should not be taught singly and compartmentally, but rather integrated towards total development of the child. So, why there is a need for us to integrate new literacies? Because these new literacies also helps to develop our economy. So, why are we talking economy here? Because we are developing a citizen which are very productive and illiterate in the new form of literacies, not only about reading, writing, but those literacies that we need to explore. Because when we integrate new literacies, it could develop their skills, their lifelong learning process, their social and life and career skills. So if we remember the category on 21st century literacy or skills, we discussed the paradigm of the framework of 21st century. So if we remember, if you remember the categories, we have the literacy learning, the innovation, and learning literacy, which are the 4 C's, the collaboration, the communication, creativity, and critical thinking. And also, we have the social life and career skills. And those are the new literacies, which if we were able to build and enhance that literacies to our students and to our learners, or to us as students, they could be useful or responsible and a productive citizen of our country. Because when someone able to enhance and build new literacies, that is skills or the literacy that they acquired, they would be very helpful for them when they already employed, when they already enjoying their chosen career, and they can contribute to the economy of the country. And now, let us proceed to the concept of integrated curriculum, which will be tackled by Mr. John Marlon M. Sinidosa.
Discussion, I am going to discuss the concept of integrated curriculum and the approach to integration. An integrated curriculum is described as one that connects different areas of study by cutting across subject matter lines and emphasizing unifying concepts. Integration focuses on making connections for students, allowing them to engage in relevant, meaningful activities that can be connected to real life. There are 5 levels of curriculum integration are identified as number 1, departmentalize, number 2 is parallel, number 3 is complementary or shared units, number 4 is web, number 5 is integrated teams. Okay, the first one is the departmentalize. This approach is the traditional model of separate and distinct disciplines taught in isolation from each other. Students travel to 6 or 7 subjects a day, each not conceptually connected to the other. For example, a student may study Jack London in language arts, fission in science, the antebellum, South in social studies, and percent in mathematics. And the next one is parallel. Topics or units of study are rearranged and resequenced to coincide with one another. Similar ideas are taught in concert while remaining separate subjects. The content itself does not necessarily change, only the order in which it appears. For example, when the social studies teacher teaches about World War II, the language art class may read the diary of Anne Frank, or the physical education teacher may reschedule his unit on American folk dancing to coincide with the social studies unit on the westward expansion. The next one is complementary or shared units of study. Related disciplines are brought together in a formal unit to investigate a theme or issue. Shared planning and teaching take place in 2 or more disciplines in which overlapping concepts or ideas emerge as organizing elements. For example, the mathematics teacher may teach grid points while the social study teacher teaches longitude and latitude concepts. Or the language arts teacher may facilitate students reading stories about islands as the science teacher covers volcanoes and island formation. These teachers plan the unit of instruction and find ways to support each other's instruction. For the next one is web. Connections or webs are made between curriculum, contents, and disciplines relative to a productive team. Subjects use the team to sift out appropriate concepts, topics, and ideas, sometimes called indisciplinary units. Teams may remain in class periods for instruction or use more flexible block of time for instruction. For example, teachers working together, usually organized on an interdisciplinary team, identify a topic such as sea life or a theme such as conflict, and each member of the team teaches the topic or theme such as conflict, and each member of the team teaches from the perspective of their discipline.
1, 2, 3.
Integrated teams. Although teams for study can be and often are imposed on students by teachers and others, the most successful integrated teams are generated by students based on their personal and social concerns. Larger blocks of time are generally necessary to investigate themes. The learning of subject matter is woven into the investigation of themes. Skills, competencies, concepts, and generalizations are taught, but within a context that is authentic to student questions. For example, after structured discussions, students decide to study the future. They generate questions they want to investigate, such as when will they die, or how will they make a living, or what will be the condition of the environment. They learn mathematical concepts while probing longevity statistics. They read and write as they explore career opportunities. And they explore numerous science concepts as they predict the future of the environment. That's all, and thank you.
And now, let's move to the approaches to integration. So, the Association for Supervision and Curriculum Development presents three approaches to integration, and these are the multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, and transdisciplinary. So, the multidisciplinary approach focuses primarily on different disciplines. Teachers employ this approach may create standards from the disciplines within a team. So, in creating a multidisciplinary approach, they tend to differ in the level of intensity of the integration effort. So, in our case, on the basic education, the revised basic education curriculum prior to the K-12. So, we have a subject Makabayan, and part of Makabayan are Araling Panlipunan, Values Education, MAPE, and TLE. And these are different disciplines incorporated to one. That is what we call multidisciplinary. So, when a teacher integrates sub-discipline within a subject area, he or she is practicing interdisciplinary approach. So, or I give you an example, example situation. So, ako as a future teacher, pwede ko i-integrate ang reading, writing, and oral communication in my English subject. So, through this integration, teachers expect students to understand the connection between the different sub-disciplines and their relationship to the real world. In fact, this approach brings a positive impact on the achievement of students, and in this multidisciplinary approach, there is a need to organize a list of standards from various disciplines around one common theme. And another way of doing it is by fusing skills and knowledge and attitudes into the school curriculum, or utilizing technology across the curriculum. So, in this way, students learn other subjects while enhancing their computer skills. Kumbaga, it allows for the combination of different subjects during one lesson or project. So next is the interdisciplinary approach. Interdisciplinary approach, teachers organize and capsulize the curriculum around common learning areas disciplines to emphasize interdisciplinary skills and concepts. So in here, the disciplines are identifiable but they assume less importance than in the multidisciplinary approach. So for example, in teaching Filipino as a discipline, the teacher hones students' language skills while resorting to content and topic in Araling Panlipunan. So, as you can see in my provided illustration, that is an example of interdisciplinary structure. Therefore, there are times that a teacher in Filipino teams up with a teacher in Araling Panlipunan to teach a lesson in Araling Panlipunan while she teaches the needed skills in the Filipino subject. So in addition, in using this interdisciplinary integration approach, there is a need to structure the curriculum around common learning areas across disciplines. So for example, incorporate interdisciplinary skills such as thinking skills, problem solving, and analytic skills in teaching science, math, and English. So the purpose is to learn the skills and concepts that are beyond the immediate lesson. And the last of the three approaches to integration is the transdisciplinary approach. So, transdisciplinary approach to integration, teachers design a curriculum within the students' needs and concern. So, students develop life skills as they apply and interdisciplinary skills in a real life context. So, simple as this. So, when you will make an integration to real world career, community integration, social problems, social dilemmas, life experiences, students' questions. So those are transdisciplinary when there is an application of your students to real life situation and the following areas. So transdisciplinary integration is utilized through project-based learning, which involved allowing the students to prevent a problem and also learning how to solve problems and to ask questions enables students to apply the skills in real life situation. So the transdisciplinary learning is the exploration of relevant concept, issue, or problem that integrate the practices of multiple disciplines in order to connect new literacies and deeper understanding to real life experiences. In the interconnecting the three approaches, which is the multidisciplinary, the interdisciplinary, and transdisciplinary, so these approaches offer an excellent fit for standards through a backward design process. As teacher integrates standard-based planning with effective teaching and learning practices. So these, the multidisciplinary, the interdisciplinary, and transdisciplinary perspective offer different maps to begin the design process. So teachers can use any of the approaches at any level of education in single classroom or in a team approach. Despite some differences in the degree and the intent of integration, the three approaches share many similarities. As such, the centrality of standards and the need for accountability bring the three approaches closer together in practice. So let me ask you why there is a need in interconnection or there is an integration between these three approaches. Because it helps to less the productivity and quality of teaching. Now I have here a table I have here a table showing the three integration, and let's find out where do they share similarities and where do they can be different from each other. So hindi ko na po siya explain one by one, and I know every one of you can easily find where do these approaches to integration are different and share similarities. And here's my conceptual framework, and I'm not totally if it's correct, but I believe that if these three approaches applied in a way of teaching and the learner comprehend it, it will result to innovative, successful learners and educators and the productive citizen and literate citizen of our country. So, and in conclusion, the integrated approach is a vehicle that allows teachers to design lessons and activities that meet students' developmental needs. So it makes it possible for the curriculum to be child-centered, be responsive to cultural differences, and accommodates multiplicity, individuality, varying interests, and different creative expressions. So, an integrated approach is important to ensure that pupils learn more and are fully prepared for the next steps in the education ladder. Before I end this video presentation, let me share what I've learned to this topic. So, I've learned the importance of new literacies in the curriculum to emphasize students' knowledge and talents. I also believe that incorporating new literacies into the curriculum helps in order to meet and sustain the demands of students in learning high-quality education through the use of technology. So this strategy or approach has difference in literacy effectiveness between old curricula. In this era, we are building ourselves at a higher level and complexity, and we are being exposed to the real-world situation that were not here in a prior curriculum. So in all parts of learning practices, the integration of three various disciplines or approaches in curriculum encourages students to be more creative and develops critical thinking abilities. So we as future educator, we learn to integrate with new technologies as well as literacy practices in their classroom in order for students to be prepared for what is ahead in their future. And that's all. I hope every one of you gain knowledge from us. And once again, I am Rosalel A. Batugon and my groupmate John Marlon M. Sinidosa. Thank you.